4, 3, 2. Hello, everyone. Hello, Internet. Hello, planet Earth. It is February 12th at noon on the dot 2025 EST. If you're listening to me, it's me, your friend Chris Kennard, aka the Princess of Port Richmond. Ham Kavina is her name, and long shall she reign. Joined always by the incredible, the handsome, the mischievous, good old Los Haystack West. How are you today, my friend?
Oh, we're definitely about to give this Chivas today, but that's another note.
Hey, quick side note. Today is the birthday of the keyboardist of the Black Atlantic Cool.
Where's the sound, brother? Okay, I know my headphones are working. I just got a dun and that. So I don't know what happened. Yep, there goes another dun and that. They talk about hockey though. I'm not trying to talk about hockey, folks. I'm trying to talk about
I am so sorry
it's not a problem. I was goofing off for a little bit.
for like the show that we made after all this time. I'm just gonna like not move for the next 2 hours. Um,
So
once
as you were
again,
saying, today's birthday is
hey PRT, it's your birthday. I love you with all my heart and soul. The
Michael
latest EP
McDonald.
by the listen now. The latest EP by the Black Atlantic Cool Trio can be found in the description below. And all the other calls to action that I'll go back to at the end of the day. Good old Los. There's one thing that I can say about our friendship is that it is forged in the fires and the blood and sweat of the squared circle. And we were like discussing like the movement of several stars back to what we refer the IWC as the Fed. Hold on, let me try them. The Fed,
The
including
E.
one absolute Ricky Starks. And I said just casually, oh, they'll probably throw his ass in NXT. Just like, it just makes sense because like the world at large doesn't know who he is. And then I'm like, I go about my evening, not like thinking of that whatsoever. I then go on to the front page of YouTube, where what do you know? I see the lad parting the Red Seas like he's Moses himself, talking that shit. I have this one hypothetical for you, then we can talk about the superb owl. You're in Shawn Michaels' ear, like you're an executive at NXT. Who do you want to pair him off with first? I'm thinking Ethan Page just to restore the feeling and to like
Alfred.
rub mud in Tony Khan's face. But what do you who should be like the first feud he should have?
That's exactly the way you go because
Ooh.
Ethan Page is wrapping up that feud with Javon Evans. Who knows which way that goes because it's that compelling of a storyline. And Ethan Page essentially has Javon Evans' number, or so we think. So that could go either way. However, whatever happens in that feud, Ricky Starks should have next. And it should be because of, well, not necessarily because of the AEW reunion, but they referenced that like I know you from somewhere and I remember knowing you and I don't like you.
You weren't that guy there, so it's interesting you're the guy here.
You know what I'm
Run them
saying?
one.
And then also fascinating that you decided to chase me over here. So yeah,
Yeah,
that
Paige did
that
not have any sauce in the previous company.
you pair him with Ethan Page first. Um, the next few after that, that could go honestly anywhere. I don't have anybody on the roster 100% in mind for the simple fact that everybody's like clicked up for the most part. Like it's a large tag team division in NXT, and I'm starting to realize that. And I look at the mid card division for the North American Championship. It's essentially Obafemi and blank. That's why Theory and Grayson Waller came back to NXT to try to claim that North American Championship. I don't 100%. I mean, that NXT Championship, because I don't 100% think that there's a lot of people in that main event scene. That being said, Tony D'Angelo's North American champion, so it's like I wouldn't have him
He
go for
gonna
that
drop
yet. Who do you think he's going to drop to?
Starks.
I want Ricky Starks to get his feet wet first. You know what I'm saying? Get into a couple of feuds before he actually starts going towards championships, even though that's his main goal.
Yeah, that's the belt I put on him. If I'm keeping him in NXT for at least a couple years, I'm putting him a North American Championship on him first.
Well, I'm eventually making him an NXT champion.
You think so? I don't even have that. I'm not looking that far ahead. Right, because they are going to call Femi up. They're going to call Femi up in a couple of years or so. So I see what you mean.
Somebody put it like this, and it's the perfect way to describe Ricky Starks. And it's not. It is. It comes off as insulting, but it ends up not being insulting at all. It winds up being flattering. Ricky Starks is Diet the Rock, but he's better in the ring. Much better in the ring.
Yeah, I understand I understand what you mean when you say that. And frankly, even though like I'm biased towards AEW, I'd my time by the time I'm like fully ingratiated into that brand, Starks is on ice after Sting is retired. So it's good. It'll be great seeing him in a new context where he can finally spread his wings with a proper machine, making sure he's like showing his best at all times.
Yeah, and you know what? Nah, I don't want him to deal with a whole bunch of AEW alumni. So keep him away from Sean Spears for a little bit at least.
We're not checking for Sean Spears, and he knows that he's better suited to being in the background and putting over the younger guys.
And this is why he needed to come into NXT, because now that I'm really thinking hard of who to pair him up with as far as a program goes. Bro, the women's division dominates that show.
Yeah. There are a lot of greats in the making, ready to come up when the time is right.
It's a select handful of the boys, and then the rest of the boys are just they're pretty much they're
catering.
They're trying to that too, but they're also trying to get their feet on the ground as far as their characters, their gimmicks, and the direction that they're going in. So out the mud, with the exception of Jada Parker. Jada Parker has already established her direction.
She's gonna be a star.
Out the mud, however, they're still trying to fully establish themselves as a tag team. I think they won, or they haven't yet actually.
Who's they?
Out the mud, OTM, Bronco Nima, and what's the other cousin's name? I blanked that fast.
Oh, her bodyguards, essentially.
Yeah, pretty.
Yeah, I feel nothing towards them. I really he's I don't watch the programs. Unless I'm with the squad, I don't watch nothing. So I see no clips circulating of their matches. It's not looking good for those boys. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Lucian Price. That's the other dude's name. It's they're not bad. It's just they have to.
Oof.
They have to do something with their gimmick. Jada has figured it out, and honestly,
yeah, because she's great on the mic. That's why.
Exactly.
She has that aura about her.
exactly. And they need to step it up and get on her level because she's going to wind up like just exceeding past the group that she was essentially assigned to from the get go. And
I mean,
that,
if I may,
yeah.
it's really hard for black tag teams to succeed in the Fed. It's really, really hard for them to stand out from one another. But other than like the New Day and the Street Profits, it's really, really hard for like a black team to get their footing as far as like being a thing. Like, because AOP don't talk.
Oh, AOP released.
I rest my case.
Also, they're not black.
They weren't?
They're too foreign. I forget which
Were they
ones were
bloodline affiliated or were they Hispanic brothers?
neither. Like one of them was relatively Arabic, I believe.
Oh, some brown brothers.
Yeah.
For me, I had no idea. But yeah, that's like the one thing I observe. And like, make of that what you will. Who's in the writer's room? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, the tag team division is like a hard division to write up for the simple fact that tag team wrestling, it's really hit and miss. It's never 100% in between. Like it's either really good, like your New Day Uso bouts, or it's just trash. So like you really got to get creative as far as the tag team division goes. Now with the NXT, Sean pretty much was like, you know what, fuck it. The storyline is, yeah, all y'all motherfuckers just ready to fight, and all y'all motherfuckers want to be tag team champions. Everyone just brawled backstage randomly. You know what I'm saying? And it's worked so far. At this point, you start to get to know these tag teams a little more in the midst of all these scuffles. Now you start to see that Josh Briggs got a new tag team partner because he went out to Japan and gained the respect of this one dude. I forgot his name. I'm
Pause.
forgetting name.
This is that black brother, right? Who's in that tournament?
Nah, Josh Briggs, the big white dude that was with the other white dude that's now the weirdo with Sean Spears.
Nah, I'm not into it. I gotta say,
I was into it when they were together.
All I want to say is that in regards to like Fraxium, like their current tag champs, like so apparently they can really bang. So like I think it's why I like to keep on putting keep the belts on those two boys. And like I did see like the screenshot of them facing off with the Hardys on TNA. So like I'm glad they're moving around doing something interesting because I know like there is like that whole storyline of them having like static with each other about keeping the team together and shit.
Sure, yeah, that storyline was fun too because first and foremost, the tag team championships are the best thing to happen to those two because they were looking
no sauce without one another.
They didn't have any sauce in general, solo, and so like as good as they are in the ring, they needed something else. And with them two playing off each other, Axiom being the more stoic and serious one, while Fraser's the more easygoing and
anxious, maybe?
Not necessarily anxious, more freewheeling. The more freewheeling one out of the two. And so they're yin and yang, where Axiom is more uptight, Fraser's more relaxed. And so they play off each other wonderfully. That's why them two work together as a tag team in general. Then winning the championships, that's because, man, they can go and go and go. And so when you have a team like that just simply doesn't get tired, you put belts on them because now it's like a real challenge to really take them down. Like the storyline with them two is that they can't stay on the same page, but them not being able to stay on the same page has also helped them in some occasions. That's the crazy irony of it all. So it's like a odd couple that works perfectly well, and they actually, rock with each other. It's not like they don't hate each other. So it's
Speaking of
like,
odd couples,
what couples?
I wanted to talk about because when I started having like my mic issues, the living abstraction all the way out from Nigeria is like, what about the superb owl? And I figured we talk about the telenovela we were all in all last year that may have like had its grand finale a couple days ago, 3 nights ago, and perhaps. Full stop. Didn't watch the Super Bowl. Didn't watch the halftime show. Feel free to like chastise me in the comments. But I know that like me and good old Los follow each other all over the internet. And you've been having a field day talking about shit. And I feel like the way I feel about like the Kendrick performance is that it appears to be better than I thought, because I had no idea what I expected. It had a lot of really cool, memorable moments. And I can't wait to see, because like if you recall, because we never talked about GNX here on the show. Sure. I really enjoyed that release. And someone mentioned to me, or rather, I observed from a lot of commentary about that album, that if you listen to the intro to that specific release on YouTube, there's a song played that is not on that release. And as we are all aware, Lamar is going to go on tour this like later this year with SZA. And I'm thinking either he's going to put more stuff out in general during the tour or after the tour. Meanwhile, like that sniffling amount of ashes from Canada is like trying to still bark with a hoodie full of bullet holes as if like he has something to say, and nobody wants to hear a syllable. You know, like I still have some young guys at my job who listen to like Aubrey casually because this means essentially nothing to them. And I hate that for the culture. I hate that it takes the greatest currently in our time in the mainstream to say, this man is a cancer on society. And youngsters like, yeah, whatever though. Anywho, put on that Drake. And it really just shows how disconnected as a culture that we are. And I also want to point out that I specifically, there are two people on my Facebook feed talking wild about like the halftime show. So much as that I had to hit the unfriend button, which again means nothing. I'm not really talking to these people, but it's the fact they feel so comfortable saying like, I don't know this artist. I don't like this music. And I like, cause even if like, you're not the biggest like K-Dot fan, to not like, just like, cause we don't like, cause like, we don't have a lot of rappers who perform. The standard now for new school, younger guys who rap, put on the backing track, wear some ice, like drop a few like Funk Flex bombs, collect your check. Meanwhile, you got cats like Denzel Curry at Rolling Loud fighting for his life on that stage. Every time I see Curry, it's him and his DJ going bonkers on the beat. And if you're not like coming at that, if you're not coming that hungry, I don't want to see it. You got Doechii at the Grammys. She and her DJ, Miss Milan, going bonkers at the Grammys. You know what I'm saying? Every time I see Doechii, Miss Milan right there, ready to like hit those bars when she takes a breath. It's like it's clear like the wheat and the chaff has been like has clearly been separated. But like bringing it to the world at large has been so fascinating. Wait a minute. Nobody gives a fuck. Los, the floor is yours.
All right. So to those who say I do not know this artist, Kendrick Lamar has been around for 12 years.
I remember the first year I took Kendrick Lamar seriously, because I think when he was introduced to me, I didn't take him seriously. My first song for him was like Holla from Section 80, and I'm like, man, whatever. But then I heard High Power, and I'm like, yo, this motherfucker is different. And I went back to that release, and I'm like, whoa, there's some shit happening that I never heard previously at a mainstream level. Sure, at the like currently underground, there's so much cool shit happening right now. But like
Well,
for just like, but I'm saying like as for like for everyday consumers to hear shit like Section 80 at that time in 2011, 2012, oh, mind-boggling, earth-shattering.
ADHD was different, but
Yeah.
what reeled me in on Kendrick Lamar, Kenez, who will eventually do an episode on.
Shout out, bro.
He put me on to the 6 foot, 7 foot freestyle.
I never heard of this to this day.
That's one of his earlier freestyle. This is before Section 80. And then I heard Section 80, and I said, all right, this is an amazing body of work. And at that point, it was just considered a mixtape.
Yeah, before it was on streaming.
Yeah, exactly. Cushion Corinthians was an absolutely compelling song to me because it wasn't Christian rap. However, it was Christian adjacent. It was honest. And so
That's the irony.
What really made me a like legitimate fan of Kendrick Lamar is two songs, actually. One is the second part to Cushion Corinthians, because if you remember, Cushion Corinthians parentheses his pain. Well, there's a second song called His Pain Part 2, and it's in BJ the Chicago Kids album Pineapple Now Laters.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I had no idea.
Yeah. Now it's broken down into two portions essentially, because it's like a 5-minute song or so. The first portion is Kendrick's half of the song, and then the second portion is BJ, crooning the rest of the song. The first half of Kendrick's, the first portion of that song has to be the most. It brings me to tears every time I listen to it, because he's telling a story about how, yesterday, his friend had told him his brother died. A day before that, his homeless uncle was his uncle's homeless, and he's pretty much telling, his friend is telling him about all the misfortunes going on in his life. And then after he's like, damn, that sucks. And he leaves off, he turns around, finds $100 bill, right? Second verse is, the things that's going on in his life that, is going on. And a lot of the things that are going on, and it follows the same structure. Yesterday, the day before that, the week before that, 2 weeks before that, and he's explaining. And essentially, when he gets to the end of his verse, he's pretty much almost a victim of a drive-by, but instead of the bullets hitting him, it hits a kid instead.
Fuck.
Right? So the third verse, and I'm trying to relax a little bit, because the third verse really,
I understand, bro.
Yeah, that's the part that overwhelms me with emotion. The third verse, he essentially is questioning whether or not the things that happen are meant to happen, and whether or not he's meant to be the bad guy or meant to be a good person. And so, in thinking about that, he gets up, goes to his friend's house, and gives him that $100 that he had found because, he has to do something for his friend because that kid that, died in that drive-by shooting that those bullets were meant for him was his friend's little brother.
Oh my God, bro.
Man. Dog. The tone he does it in, that's what really, sets it home. Like it really brings it home because he had a cold when he recorded that.
Mm.
So, as he's doing the rap and the cold, like his cold makes him sound like he's like really overwhelmed as he's rapping all of this. It's such a beautiful song. And then the second song,
man,
yeah, the second song is actually in Good Kid, Mad City, and Sing About Me.
That 12-minute John, yeah.
The first half of Sing About Me, Dying of Thirst, and that song, the first verse brings me to tears just about every time because it reminds me of my friend. He was murdered. So, and then the second verse, I've been trying to 100% figure out what happens to I get Keisha's sister because section
off.
Yeah. Because Section 80 there was a song called Keisha's Song, and basically Keisha's song was about a prostitute.
She was like a working girl. Yeah.
Yeah. She was, on the job one night and was murdered. And so Keisha's sister was mad because
it wasn't your story to tell, essentially.
Yeah, why are you telling stories outside of school? Pretty much. That was her anger. However, I'm not 100% sure what happens to Keisha's sister because she just fades out.
I remember that part. Yeah. I remember reading something about that, but I forget where I read it.
And I never 100%, understood. I want to say it was like people were speculating, AIDS, HIV, something of that like. Because, the cycle, so on and so forth. Because she said, too, that she is also in the business. She don't need to go see a doctor because she feels perfectly fine. She did mention that in the verse. So, yeah. And then, the third verse is like, he pretty much like, I just tell these stories that I feel need to be told to the world so people understand A, where I come from, and B, where a lot of us come from due to what America has given us in particular and what that brings, essentially. Sing About Me is such a good song. And the Dying of Thirst part, I honestly can personally do without, even though I understand completely the point of the song. But like, I'm like, I'm good off that. I'm all set after Sing About Me.
It's a lot to take in.
A lot to take in. Then not only that, like Kendrick has been in constant features. One of my favorite features is that is Better Off, that Quadrant song.
Yeah.
He has such a beautiful tie into the subject matter of that song. And so like he has managed to be well-rounded for a solid 12 years. And really all he does is make his music, goes on tour, and then goes home be a family man.
I just heard like United in Grief for the first time yesterday. I didn't like take the time to get into Mr. Morale because
I
because
know
like
what
like all
song that
like
is.
yeah, just like
That song's uncomfortable, bro.
bruv, the way he's the speed and like just like because that's the other thing I hate about people like, oh, like he's mumbling, I don't understand the words. It's like y'all like these are the same motherfuckers who listen to slow jams by Kanye West and Twister. Get the fuck out of my face, bro. Just like this thing like just like the like because I listen to it for one reason. My favorite like podcast on Spotify, Dissect with Cole Kushner. They were like breaking down every single song, and I'm like, you know what? I had never heard this record. I didn't give it its due. It's respect. So I put on United in Grief. I'm at work talking about United in Grief, and I'm just like, wow. Like I had to step away and just like listen to this song, and I'm like, this madman.
Yo, like I said, it's such an uncomfortable song. Again, it's one of those songs where it's like that entire album, Mr. Morale to me was one of those albums where
Who's
it's
giving
like
us shit like that?
I get the point of the album, but I'm not going back to that album. You know what I'm saying? Because
Say no more.
it's like United in Grief made me extremely uncomfortable, but that was just like, one of the things that I didn't 100%, couldn't get into about that album. I couldn't get into the fact that he tried to use the, modern sound in order to tell a story about him, you know, uh, going to therapy and
Struggling with
starting
infidelity.
to deal with who he is as a person and all the things and triggers that have caused him to be the person that he is, and delving into those situations. And so it made me go, all right, I love the subject matter, but god damn do I hate the beat selection. And so what that says, like, Mr. Morale is one of those albums where it's like it's an important album, but it's not one of those albums that I go back to. Good Kid, Mad City, Damn,
Damn's
those
the
are
one
two
for me.
those are two albums that I constantly go back to. I go back to Damn because Hood Politics is one of my favorite Kendrick Lamar songs. Period. Like, hands down, man down. He was talking in that motherfucking song. Like, he was. If you actually like read the lyrics to that song, he is talking, and then he also says he also mentions essentially how he feels about what real rap is. Like, motherfuckers talk about what hip hop people complain about, what hip hop is rapping. Motherfucker, if you did, the Killer Mike would be platinum. Like,
You could have saved that man.
if you actually cared about the raps, the actual rappers would be doing the numbers that y'all call rappers are doing.
Rest in peace, Khan, man.
So like that, then not only that, he talking about how he mentions how essentially political parties just two sets of gangs.
Oh, 1000%.
So something that he's familiar with, and he sees no different. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was talking in Hood Politics. So like that's one of my favorite songs, and Damn is like a solid album in general because I learned that the original album and the deluxe is the same album, right? However,
Backwards.
the deluxe is backwards, and the message is if it was a man dying in the beginning, and then or seeing a man die in the beginning, and then all of it essentially turning him into a darker and darker person, essentially, right? Whereas the deluxe version is if his father was murdered, that instead of meeting who would one day become his son's manager, then things would have turned out completely different, and I would have just wound up dead. Bro, this motherfucking Kendrick Lamar is a wordsmith.
Put that Pulitzer in his hand.
He is a storyteller, and he is what is supposed to be called an artiste. Like that, he's legitimately an artist because he leads his thoughts with art, and that's the thing that I don't understand about people that never listened to Kendrick Lamar. It's like, how do you not know who the fuck Kendrick Lamar is? You've heard ADHD. I know you have. Why? Because
no. Hold on. I'm gonna throw some breadcrumbs to the white folk. In no way did any white person who's like not already ingratiated into hip hop hear Section 80. Absolutely not. But they most certainly heard shit from Good Kid, Mad City. They most certainly were at a party and heard "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe." Then after like when Good Kid, Mad City came out, they had no motherfucking excuse because like Pop Kendrick was everywhere to be seen. There was no way, unless they're like on some Pitchfork shit or any of like those like hipster blogs like Spin, no chance.
If I may, with a quick rebuttal.
Please.
ADHD came out around the time motherfuckers was wearing all that Obey and and the fucking trucker hats and shit like that. Or around that era, everybody was talking about steez and shit like that. Yeah. Them were the motherfuckers that were really into the blogs. Okay?
I'm not talking about those people though. Like
nah.
The people who are like,
the same fucking people.
They're not though.
Trust me.
I'm talking about regular civilians, bruh.
Yeah, them.
Nah, no shot.
Days is thems.
No shot.
Days is thems. I watched them grow up and become regular civilians. Trust me.
No. Not motherfuckers who ingratiated themselves into becoming NPCs. I'm talking real deal, regular. I only listen to the radio ass motherfuckers.
Yeah. Nah. Sorry.
No, bro. They weren't playing Section 80 on the airwaves, my boy, is what I'm saying.
They were all right. If they were playing Section 80 on the airwaves, then how in the hell did they not know about his first lead single for Section 80?
No, that's the thing. There were no singles for the album that hit mainstream.
They weren't. They didn't mainstream. Gotcha.
It went from tape to just like streaming exclusive.
Okay. Well, listen.
Because during the height of the beef, when Cole was like, "Oh, these specific albums were trash," they don't include Section 80 because most folks haven't heard that release. Same with like the one that came up before Section 80. That's also as good.
Before Section 80?
Yeah, brother.
Head nigga in charge?
No, brother. The one after that.
Oh.
I'm blanking on the name because that's how long it's been since I listened to that shit.
Exactly. The Kendrick Lamar EP.
No, brother. Even before it came out after that. Hold on, I'm on Genius right now. I'm gonna cycle this out. I'm so sorry to do this right here live. Overly dedicated, bro. Overly dedicated.
Oh, I forgot all about Overly Dedicated.
Bitch, I do this.
The Heart Part 2 is what made me go, okay, I think I might be a Kendrick Lamar fan. Yeah. That he went unconscious on that job. And then What else? Rigor mortis? No, rigor
That's
mortis
from
is
Section
Section
80.
80. Um,
Great beat. Damn, it's a great beat.
Black Lip Bass is my shit. That's how I found out about Black Hippie.
Oh yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying?
That posse cut.
Yeah, Black Lip, or it was Black Lip Bastard, and I was like, oh, what else do they got? And then I got what's up, say what's up in return. I said, yeah. What else? Who are the rest of this group? I must know. I know two of you. Who are the other two? Because like J Rock, I do because of like that All My Life joint with Lil Wayne or whatever. So it's like I heard of you, and then he got the joint
Who gonna love it?
Hood gonna love it, and then I heard Kendrick's verse in that joint, and I was like,
Miss Jada Parker.
okay, I heard about you too. Let me listen to more of you, and that's how I got into Kendrick Lamar. Then Black Hippie was the redirect from Kendrick Lamar, and that's how I learned about Absol's control system. And man, that's a great album.
Is that the one with Danny Brown? The joint with Danny Brown?
Uh
If every gang in the world unite, we can send against the military tonight. Type shit. That one.
Terrorist Threats. Yep.
Terrorist Threats. Yeah.
Janae Aiko.
Bruh.
Black Lip Bastard was on that jump. Okay, so yes, say what's
Sure
up.
was.
I heard before Black Lip Bastard. So I heard say what's up, and I was like, oh, who are the rest of you guys? And that's when I heard, Control System, and Control System was such a good album to me. And then I listened to Habits and Contradictions.
Book of Soul, bro. Book of Soul.
Habits and Contradictions.
That's a great tape. That's a great tape.
I love how dark that intro is.
Which I believe Kendrick is on too.
Nah. Well, yeah, Kendrick was doing that mixtape. He was
doing like the vocals. Yeah.
Not Sacrilegious. He was on Blessed.
I'm thinking of the other one then. I'm thinking of the other release.
Oh, Blank Face.
No, bro. After Habits, there's this one, like my favorite, the one with There He Go.
That was second track of Habits and Contradictions.
Fuck. Then I am thinking of that. But then because Kendrick was doing the vocals without he didn't have a verse on that one. Yeah, because it's the one that came out before Oxymoron. Yeah, Habits. I'm confusing Habits for Setbacks, so that's my bad.
Okay, yeah, Setbacks go crazy too. Actually, he had a couple of Jones that I liked on there. Birds and the Bees. Sex Drive I fuck with a little bit, but yeah. So
Man,
once I heard Schoolboy Q, I was like, all right, yeah, I'm in. I'm in on all four of you, and they haven't missed yet. So that said, let's get into the halftime show because I'm looking at the time.
On the halftime show. Yeah.
Yeah. We need to go ahead and get into that.
Chop this.
That said, that said, that's why I'm completely confused when people say that I've never heard of Kendrick Lamar. Yes, you have, because you've heard Humble.
They've definitely heard Humble. They've seen him on SNL. They heard his shit with Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
He's been around.
He's on the song with Taylor Swift. You've heard of Kendrick Lamar.
They 100% have heard of Kendrick Lamar. Bro, he was on the Grammy stage with motherfucking Imagine Dragons. That remix is on streaming.
You heard what was the single for you've heard Swimming Pools.
Yes,
you know Kendrick Lamar. You know him.
They've heard Poetic Justice, the version without Drake on late night TV. That don't go crazy. Had the saxophone player. Bruh, don't play with me.
That's the funny part about this entire beat. We forget that happened. That Poetic Justice happened.
That was a big part of my life. We completely
sweep it under the rug for the most part. That makes the beef even funnier. But anyway,
Lord have mercy, bro.
So yeah, you've heard of Kendrick Lamar if you haven't, actually listened to his music. And if you've heard of him, you've heard some of the, guest verses that he's done.
Oh yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call a lyricist in rap. And that's what used to be the norm in hip hop
Not the
before
tone. I was sick of
you
this.
started gentrifying it and saying it's all about the numbers and the algorithms and things like that.
Line go up.
So yeah, that used to be the thing. Lyricism used to be king because it was like a professional being. It's like being a professional at the sport. You're
It's like being
you're
Jalen
only as
Hurts.
exactly. You're only as good as your lyricism. And if you're lazy with your lyricism, you're no better than Brock Purdy.
Ouch.
So like, and yeah, cool. Brock Purdy's a Super Bowl contending quarterback, but he's not Jalen Hurts.
I feel like Kiki Palmer. I'm sorry to that man. I do not know him.
So, so that being said, that performance during halftime was absolutely stellar. And it was absolutely stellar because of the Easter eggs that he had in there. Yeah, you know that Kendrick Lamar is the king of Easter eggs.
Yep.
He loves a good multiple entendre. He threw in a lot of things in that performance. He, started off essentially saying that, you picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
Yep.
And that was essentially a message to let you know, yeah, you picked the perfect stage for me to send y'all a message. Y'all are not going to like. And then not only that, if you don't understand what's going on here, well, you'll never understand it. So it is what it is at that point.
I think
Right?
FP said it best when he said that Kendrick sneak dissed America.
Yep. He sneak dissed America. He sneak dissed Trump and just elephant at a funeral Drake.
Yeah, that meme was doing numbers. Shout out to the person who posted that first. I don't know who you are, but I appreciate you because, yeah. Hey, Aubrey, maybe stay in Australia until they kick you out of the country.
I said to my best friend Dominique, I said, it's funny because he sent me the entire breakdown. Somebody actually broke it down or whatever. And I said it's funny because Kendrick has only performed Not Like Us twice so far. We've only heard the song essentially 3 times. First time he dropped it at the pop out at the Super Bowl. And throughout every time he has used Not Like Us, he has essentially also been beating the shit out of Drake in between all that, to where it looks like Not Like Us is just a finishing move he uses specifically on Drake.
You can't count. You can't.
That's what makes it so funny, right? Now, with that being said, Samuel L. Jackson, what was his role in all this? Well, Samuel L. Jackson played Uncle Sam, fittingly. And essentially,
a great joke in and of itself.
Exactly. And essentially Uncle Sam was like not an exact parallel, not a contrast, but he had elements of his character in Django. And the reason being is that he's essentially Kendrick's liaison to playing the game in America. And he's America's messenger, right? So he pretty much telling Kendrick how to essentially play the game. And the best thing about that performance is all of his songs that he performed correlated to the storyline and the performance. And so when, he get to a point where he get ready to perform Not Like Us, and he pretty much, the crowd want me to do it, but folks like to sue, right? And so that's when Uncle Sam pretty much tells him, hey, you need to learn how to play the game. And keep in mind that the PlayStation control buttons, the face buttons, they're like on different parts of the stage. And it has to do with playing the game. Beat with the Black Panthers in the 1960s. Definitely connected with his past work with Spike Lee. Also held Martin Luther King Sr. hostage once.
Had the shotty to his dome when he was in college at Morehouse.
Yep. And so, yeah. So Samuel Jackson's been a real one for years, for longer than we've been alive.
Timing.
Exactly. So he pretty much like, that's not how you play the game. You need to humble yourself. And that's when Kendrick starts playing humble. Yada, what have you. So, so he pretty much like, bring your homeboys into the game. That's a loss of life. And he pretty much saying that like bringing your friends into all of this can possibly get you killed. It's happened before. So like this entire performance is telling a story, and Uncle Sam is essentially the like game host, and the game host is the voice of like America at large, right? And so while Uncle Sam is pretty much telling Kendrick how he needs to play the game, that's when we get to the end of the performance, and then Kendrick go, and then Uncle Sam goes, "There you go. That's how you play the game." And then all you hear is da-na-na-na-na-na. He goes, "Oh no!" Right? So that's when Kendrick do the whole. Yeah, that's when Kendrick do the whole. The crowd. They all want me to do it, but they all like to sue, right? And so that's when he goes bigger than. He's like, it's bigger than rap. 40 acres and a mule. Basically, he Not Like Us is essentially the anthem of like black empowerment. For this is Kendrick's second black empowerment anthem, if we're keeping count essentially. So yeah, Not Like he runs Not Like Us, and we even get the Say Drake. I heard you like them young. And this motherfucker
JoJo walked right across the stage.
He looked, and when he says Say Drake, it's like he knew exactly which camera to look into. He knew exactly which moment he needed to look into that camera, because that camera angle turned just in time for him to make that turn and look like Michael Jackson at the end of Thriller. Saying Say Drake. Like, oh my God, he really is the boogeyman. He really is. Like, and then not only that, he didn't even have to say the P word. That's the crazy part about it. They just pretty much skip straight the wop. And then finished on out. Why you acting like a Drake? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably. And then, as 70,000 fans in the arena and millions watching at home screaming, A minor.
Hold on. I want to say something real quick. Like, much like in on TV Off when Kendrick says it's not enough, like Aylor mentioned new Drake coming this Valentine's Day. Like, he's just trying to like steer the conversation away from his huge L. I need that fucking record.
We don't care.
Tank. Like, it's one thing to say like, fuck it, but like, if like people, like there's like 5 people listening to this this stream right now. People, if there are people that you love and care about listening to this new Drake release, like, I just want to hear what it's about. I need you to shame them. I need you to really give them a really hard time saying you clearly don't respect women and children and like at all, like their safety. And that's like intriguing to you. Leave that shit to fucking Fantano. It's his job to review music. We need this release to tank. Like, it's not enough to just be like, oh, haha, you're a loser, like wearing an ugly hoodie on your tour in Australia. He shouldn't have even been allowed to tour the country. Remember when Tyler the Creator got banned in 2 countries for like, arguably so, like, which he deserved, arguably, because like the awful lyrics he was putting in like his older music. The fact that I'm doing the same to Drake, if we believe the words that Kendrick is saying about Drake, Aubrey Graham, We need to take actual action. It's not enough to just like troll him online and make fun of him. Like that means nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need this to be tangible. He needs to lose actual money if like he's gonna take like these things against him seriously. He's like, he can take his ball and go home because he's still the boy in our culture. That is a problem. Like, why is Young Thug trying to like be the olive branch between him and Future? We don't need that shit. It has to actually be significant if this meant anything. It's like, I think of specifically the artist Kara Jackson, who was like not having any of like this, like was not really enjoying like the hype of Not Like Us. One of my favorite like black songstresses that's appeared in like the public canon recently. And I'm like, you know, if we're ethering Drake in the name of protecting children and women, like, the perspective of black women is like very crucial in regards to unpacking this song and what it's going to mean going forward for this tour. If he's going to play the song during this tour, you know what I'm saying? He's playing Canada twice, if I'm not mistaken. So like you know, like, Kendrick is like has rolled off the red carpet for us to act accordingly. So I just want to make sure I say something to that regard before we move forward in our stream today. Thank you for giving me a moment, Los.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because my thing is this, right? And I'm gonna sound off on Dre one more time before I finish my sound off on this performance. My thing with Drake is this, right? All of us, well, not all of us, but black women started to see the jig around
the first EP.
No. Well, a lot of people who thought Drake was corny saw right through everything around the first EP. Kudos to them.
I had to be told.
Kudos to them. They were
seriously.
Right. So, but however, if you were a fan of Drake, you started falling off around after Scorpion.
I would say even before then. I would say around album 2.
Yeah,
there are red flags appearing in my brain, my uneducated brain in album 2.
Again. A Drake fan that was on the bandwagon that still has some semblance of still rational thought, they were still on. Again, because I was one of these people.
Yeah, and you're right about Scorpion. That's what I'm like. That's what I'm getting like. I have like a sense of, huh? Something's not right here. But by the time I heard Scorpion, because I tried to go through that album like several times, and I'm like, no, bullshit aside, this shit is boring as fuck.
Yeah, and that's what it like started boiling down to with the dudes. It was like, all right, you starting to rap about with the girls. They started realizing, okay, you do a lot of like demeaning black women. Like a lot of like, you know, being shiesty to black women in general because they reject you because you're such a dork. Now we're starting to realize you're such a dork, right? This was around, I want to say Scorpion, if not before, after, because I remember people like starting to become slightly disinterested in Drake a little bit, but then the Pusha T beef happened. And that's when it really started going down.
That was prior to Scorpion, though. That was prior to Scorpion.
Yeah, that was directly prior to Scorpion. No, what people started getting tired of him, but then the Meek Mill beef happened. And then that's when
he won back. He won back. He
won everybody back with his masterful play of you getting beat by a singing nigga. That worked on Meek Mill. It didn't work on Pusha T because you try to start doing the whole gangster facade around your encounter with Pusha T, and Pusha T exposed you and your son. So. Like and that
who you would have used for a prop anyway. So it's like, hey, bro, what's going on here?
Exactly. So then you get to a point where you get to like certified lover boy, and now people are like, okay, all right. That's when people started getting off the bandwagon, certified lover boy, because that album cover in itself, it was like, yikes. Bro, what is wrong with you? Like you think
Genghis
you're
Khan
so
want a cosplay ass motherfucker. Ew,
you
bro.
think you're funny like that's when you know niggas started realizing this nigga's corny as shit. That's when the chicks started going, see, we told y'all. And so by the time we got to this whole beef,
Hey, Sean Megan, by the way, for like just doing the shot around the road, but just like with
yep,
his.
yep. And honestly, she was the one that fired off the warning shot in all this. Like it
There's an
essentially
avalanche coming.
because she was the first one to at least attack at Drake first before all this, because you gotta understand Drake and Kendrick, that was a whole Cold War prior to like that.
That shit was simmering for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So
You're
like once Megan threw out that first like shot, it kind of made it seems as if it made Kendrick go, hmm? And so we get to that whole first person shooter, and then Kendrick goes, I think I'm going to take my opportunity here.
okay
And
then.
that's he jumps on like that, and so it goes. So this motherfucker Drake, he essentially did all of this by himself. He created his legacy, but he also watered it down and is currently ruining it because this motherfucker, his own DJ, is playing Not Like Us, and this motherfucker just standing there looking like a like Hell's Butcher, mad as shit, trying to get the DJ to turn the song off. Like nobody respects you anymore. That's it. That's all. Now that being said, bringing it all home, that entire performance at the Super Bowl was just a masterful performance. Now, my complaints was, Kendrick blew himself up early and thus spent a lot of the breadth of his performance having to, really manage his breath control. But also in defense, he's running roughly, 3/4 of the field too.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a lot of words.
you got to balance that out and understand that as well. So because like my dad, we went back and forth about it. He was like, I don't know, man. I remember when they were doing Super Bowl performances. I said, first and foremost, the first major Super Bowl performance was because of Living Color's halftime show in 1992, and they said never again. Michael Jackson,
man,
how would you like to perform in the Super Bowl?
Man, don't activate my whole conspiracy of they are literally holding back the African American band. Don't get me into my bag, bruh. Don't get me into my shit, because I will end this stream right the fuck now.
Well, you gotta understand, prior to 1992, that's all they did was marching bands for the Super Bowl.
That's not what I'm saying, bro. That's not what I'm saying. Not even that, because like they would sooner let a drum line come and do like the Super Bowl before they let, I don't know, say fucking like Zulu, Animals as Leaders, Soul Glow. Shit, they'd rather play Infinity Song before they ever let, I don't know, like Meet Me at the Altar, like play 15 minutes on a national scale.
Good buddy, let me tell you something. The only Super Bowl performances you are going to see for the rest of your life, possibly, or for as long as Jay-Z is running the committee,
allegedly,
you're going to get the top performers from yesteryear.
That's fine, and that is not my issue. That is not my issue.
And then sprinkle in between, you're going to get the biggest acts that time period. So whoever's going to do next year is either going to be either a band or an act from yesteryear, or is going to be a huge act of today. It's not going to be Taylor Swift, because I think Taylor Swift already done the Super Bowl.
She hasn't.
So it might be Taylor Swift next year.
It might just be her next, actually.
and we might see Kendrick Lamar again.
Yeah,
So
she will bring him back out for Bad Blood for sure, doggy.
so like yeah, like that's all you're gonna get. You're not gonna get any underground or
And
hell,
that's not what,
you barely even
and
get
that's what I'm not
mainstream acts.
saying, and that's not what I'm saying. It's just like I feel that I feel just like that connection of, hey yo, we let Living Color play. Like actually, the last thing we need is more like black people being seen with guitars in their hand. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it goes deeper than that. We cannot go down the rabbit hole because I'll start
No,
cursing out like BET for the next 15 minutes. Let's not do that. I want to focus on the reason we're actually here. If you see in the description, you see like the title of the video is
excellent segue.
Missy's Hits. And you say usually we got HHYM. I couldn't let it go. I had to put Triple HM. Haystack heeds his mother. Mama, tell us why we're here. Who's Missy? Who's Missy Crawford? Who is that woman? Who's that lady?
Missy Crawford is the matriarch of the Crawford family.
Period.
Sabrina is her actual name, but my grandmother, her mother, nicknamed her Missy, and that's what I call it to this day. Exactly, it stuck.
That's fine, bro.
So she is one that does a lot of listening to music when she's doing anything that doesn't involve being on the phone. Like anytime she's on the phone, she's conducting business of some sort, sure.
Of
but
course.
if she's doing her hair, if she's cleaning the house, if she's cooking dinner, if not with her headphones in, she's listening to Pandora. That's her app of choice. And so, like, I don't know if that's old head shit or what.
I think it is old head shit. We were listening to Pandora in high school and we moved the fuck on, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because we started finding apps where we could just find the songs in particular willy nilly. Like Apple Music started to, become its own app instead of like just a music library that you had to buy the songs off of. Neither here nor there. So yeah, a woman that really loves her music. So we got her to compile a quick 5-set. If we only can do 4, I already know which song I'm eliminating.
We'll do them all. It's okay. We're gonna do them
all. All right, cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it because her set's a little more well-rounded out of 5 songs. Yeah, I knew I could trust her in particular to have a more well-rounded set list, whereas I depend on both of my brothers to have a lot of like hip hop and or R&B.
That's just funny shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Both my mother and I expect my dad to have mostly funk and go-go, and which we ran past my dad, and my dad said, "Yeah, probably."
I'm excited. Personally, I'm excited to ship for that. Our lineup today includes, but is not limited to, Bruno Mars, The Lazy Song, Brothers and Sisters by MFSB, If This World Were Mine by Love United, Fly Like a Bird by Mariah Carey, scandal acknowledged, and I'm Gonna Be Ready by Yolanda Adams.
What? No, Mariah?
Oh, I hate to say it, but this specific organization I've been following on the gram has listed both Mariah and Bruno on that Zionist train, my brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna hurt y'all feelings real quick. My mom don't care about none of that.
And frankly, it's not. And frankly, it's not even about her. It's just for everybody else who may not already be aware. Because you know the type of time that I'm on. And like, if y'all want the link, by all means, I'm gonna give it to you if it's concerning to you, the listener, who may be watching this stream right now. I just want to make sure I'm doing my due diligence as a purveyor of content. I don't want to lead y'all down the wrong path. I don't want someone to be like, man, Chris KenardKris told me that shit, and I didn't. I want to make sure that I say it, that I'm keeping myself accountable. You know what I'm saying? Because I have some thoughts on this song because I never before heard it, and I'm like, I'm glad that we're bringing it up here today. That's all I wanted to say.
All right, fair enough. But I just want to throw out there that, you know,
I know what generation your mom is from, bro. Trust me, it's all good.
Well, in general, I am the most politically correct person in my family.
And that, respectfully, that's saying something.
Like, this is a family of peasants. We don't care about politics. So you know, where you know, my dad, he's more, you know, a conspiracy theorist.
Lord have mercy.
He everything he sees, he's like, there's something deeper, and I know there is. I know he's there not is wrong about that in general, because I've lived long enough. Yeah, I get.
Here we are right now. Like, we never thought we'd be here at this point in time, so he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. Usually. But then there's some where I'm like, okay, I that doesn't even sound merely plausible. It's like, and it's not anything that involves aliens or anything Alex Jones be spouting
nothing fun,
out, but yeah. It's nothing, you know, it's nothing fun.
He's gonna make you sad.
I think that's what it really boils down to. I think my dad just has hard truths, because he's lived a life long enough to
seen some shit.
He's seen some shit. His brother been involved in shit. So
allegedly in Minecraft.
At this point, he's no longer with us. So these records can actually be, I guess you could say, not out in the open, but
I feel you.
It's not G14 classified either. But yeah. Like he's been involved in with the government, so like my dad be knowing, you know what I'm saying? My dad's a noticer, as I like to call it.
I like that.
So I get where he be coming from most of the time, but then there's sometimes I'm like, this conspiracy is fun. I'm over it. I'm gonna stop on over this real quick. But yeah, so like, and then, you know, both my brothers, all they care about is
we can save them for later. We can save them for later. I'm scared of those two. Respectfully. I'm scared of the older one. Actually, I'm scared of the older one. He almost cooked me on the stream one time.
Who knows if the older one's even going to participate in this? He's too cool for a lot of things. So
I am going to pay him for the record. I want the whole flock. I want the whole flock.
Yeah, you say that.
I know what I'm getting myself into. I want the whole flock.
Yeah, nah. And when I say I'm the most politically correct person, I
believe you. Like Joe Hendry.
My older brother is on the other end. He's the most politically incorrect person in my family.
We need not speak of them here on this day. We need not speak of them here on this stream. Back to the topic at hand. We need to redirect the boats. Let's get the fluff right out of here. Do you want to have a conversation about the Lazy song by Bruno Mars and why it pertains to your mother specifically?
Well, this is the song that I wanted to skip over, if we're being honest. Like, I looked at my mother with the crazy face when she said it. Well, here's the thing, right? My mom, like, this how this started. She goes, I mean, I don't necessarily have favorite songs per se. I don't think I do. She's like, I just love I just have favorite artists. She's like, you know, Mariah Carey, Love Unlimited. She's like, I'll listen to Love Unlimited all day, like, without, you know, changing songs or anything like that. She was like, she had me resort her Pandora list real quick, and then she's like, okay, now I can further explain, you know, exactly what you know, songs in particular, and that's how we got these 5 songs. However, she started with the Lazy song. She just is a real fan of that song. It's a chill song.
She's so cute, bro, because like I remember specifically I was going out to karaoke with the squad. And one of the homies like, you have to sing with me. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I just like, I wasn't feeling it. But then like, And when he goes up to sing his song, he's like, "Can you come up for a minute?" And I'm like, "What do you need?" And hands me a mic. Just Trojan horses me into like singing this motherfucking song. We had a lot of fun, but I'm just like, he's like, "I'm gonna get you, boy. I'm gonna get you." And he got me, and we sang it. Everyone loved it, and I'm like, okay. Other than this, like specific like context for the song, I do not care for this particular record because like Bruno Mars annoys the shit out of me. To be so talented and make such like trite crap like this. One thing I wanted to ask you, because recently he dropped 3 really big features. One with Rose from the K-pop group Blackpink, one with Lady Gaga, and one with Sexy Red.
I heard about that one.
Yeah, we're not talking about that one today.
We're not talking about that one today.
We're not talking about Fat, Juicy, and Wet. I don't want to talk about Fat, Juicy, and Wet today.
But what I hope to never hear that song.
I literally have been avoiding it like the plague. I want to get your mom's take on Die With a Smile, like the Gaga collab she has with Bruno. Again, scandal acknowledged. But like that, I heard a clip of that, John, and it won a Grammy this year. So I'm like, I would love to see if she liked that song or not, because it sounds like a generational John.
I'll love it with you. She probably never heard it. That's what I want to. I like when we get back together, maybe next month or so, and we do like the next member, like the Carlos, like the Crawford family. I'd love to get like her 2 cents on that joint if she likes it or not. All right,
it feels like the most like appropriate to her age group. You know what I'm saying?
I'll play it for her, see if she's heard it before. She probably has heard it before. She just doesn't know the name of it. It's probably one of those type of deals. You know how you hear a song and you just like hope to hear the chorus because that's what you're going to call the song.
Literally. There's quick aside. There's a trio from England I love called Quiero Bonito, and on one of their albums they have a song called Heard a Song about this very concept of like being in a car, hearing a song, thinking it sounds great, but then like the fucking DJ never tells you what the fuck it is. So you have to go home and be like, yo, have you heard this record before? What does it sound like? And you think you know what it sounds like, but like, no idea what you're talking about. And I'm like, it is the peak millennial experience. Because earlier this year, I was at a party and we're playing music, and I'm playing a song that Lord played for me one time. And as I'm playing it, one of the people at the party is like, I have been looking for this song for my entire life. And I'm just like, that's a very eureka moment that only like we experience very often. So like, yeah. This song has over 2 billion hits on YouTube.
I believe it. Like I said, I never want to hear it ever again. I completely understand you on that. However, I completely understand also that like it's one of those songs that you can like play around kids. And they start.
No, you can't. You actually can't play this song around kids.
I mean, we were, but
the Black experience aside, it's like,
hey, so I can't call it for real. But
there's probably a Kid Rock version of the song out though for sure. Quiet as kept.
Hey, there you go. So yeah, you can in theory, but
in theory,
yeah. But yeah, it's just one of those songs, like one of those like happy-go-lucky songs, and it makes people feel good. So I get it. But Bomani Jones brought up an excellent point about
shout out to Uncle Bo, man. What do you say?
Well, he loves Anderson .Paak. So
yes, Lord.
He kind of like the Silk Sonic album. He said
it very much.
He enjoyed, but it felt like an album that was like too polished. And he was like, I feel like I attribute that to Bruno Mars. And the reason why he attributes that to Bruno Mars is because that's kind of his track record. He makes those type of songs where it has that influence. And you can hear the influence heavily in the song, but it's way too polished for that, genre of influence. You get what I mean?
Yeah, like he got a little dirt on that, John.
Like exactly, got to rub some dirt on that funk. You can't just have here's funk and it's like shiny, brand new funk. You gotta throw some dirt. If I asked my dad, would you take some polished funk? Would you take some dirty funk? He'd say dirty funk. I'm sure of it.
Sure.
Like some genres need the polishing, some absolutely don't. And some of the genres that he touches upon, it don't need to sound like it's
Shiny
been
and new.
constantly remastered in a studio. So that's kind of hit my like gripe with Bruno Mars, the fact that yeah, he does be sounding too polished. Like,
You can
yo,
count me
let
like 1, 2, 3.
hang loose a little bit in your music. Like you a little too uptight. You know what I mean? Anderson Paak got no problem with that because that No Worries album.
Fine, we wanna link up. Oh,
Why Lord,
you
Why Lord is good. It's so
like it?
good. Yes.
Say less. Say less. Say less.
And Where I Go with Her, that Jones good.
Generational talent.
Um,
Generational talent.
he got another one that I really love in that album.
Hold
I
on.
forgot the name of it that
Yeah, it
fast.
sounds to me we may have to do like a double episode, maybe in season 3 of just like Pack and No Worries.
Quite possibly. However,
All right,
as we
bet.
move on.
Challenge. Speaking of things that don't need polish, who is MFSB? Who is that?
Mother, father, sister, brother.
I'm not
Uh
him.
yeah, it's an old R&B group from like the I want to say late 60s, early 70s, maybe even a little later. Uh just
Wow,
one
yeah,
of the
they're from Philly from 1971 to 1985. Wow.
there you go. And so with that being said, this is one of these groups that Missy listened to when she was during her formative years.
That's what's up, yo. Wow.
So like if this is a group that was around from 1971 until 1985, that means that they were around while she was in elementary school. That was when they were getting their start. They were around when she was in high school. They were just disbanding as Caleb was born.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is I'm not 100% sure. Like I can't we didn't necessarily 100% discuss this, but I like to think that this is one of the groups that my mother listened to when she would like be in the mirror doing one of my older cousins' hair or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Growing up.
I like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It feels like that Green Onions, John, that like would always play on sports radio.
Bingo. Like that. Dun, 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 dun.
That's a key memory of me being a kid in my dad's car because he'd always have sports radio on, and just like hearing that song and the
that's always been a staple of my childhood, the original Quiet Storm. Like growing up, my parents, we will be driving home from either one of my grandmother's house, paternal and out in DC or maternal out in Virginia.
shout out.
But either way, when we were driving home, I'm hearing, and now for the original
Quiet
Quiet Storm.
Storm.
And that once that watermark came on, you knew
Time to
something.
sleep, baby.
Either you were going to go to sleep from the ages of like 5 to maybe 6 or 7, but then from like 8, 9, 10 on, I started really like familiarizing myself with a lot of the songs that were playing on the radio station around that time. So
Yeah.
now I'm really starting to immerse myself in why do they like this music so much? And then I started listening to it, and the older I get, I'm like, all right, I'm getting it now. Like this grooves. It's grooves. You know how we have vibes? They had groove.
We need the groove back, baby. Bring back the
Yeah.
groove.
Yes, we do.
A few acts still like I feel like the new school like nerdy jazz like lane is still just like fighting for like the sake of the groove. Like mugs who go to school learning about the greats and like, oh, we can incorporate this into our own music. Like this is shit we can play around our parents without being like giving us like the side eye, the stink eye, and shit like that. The snarky puppies, the scary pockets, like dirty loops, all like those fun new school like postmodern jukebox. All those acts are just like finding just like the real diamonds in the rough who are like just like maintaining the craft of like wholesome music and shit like that.
Yeah. And that's what sister and brother is. It's just real wholesome family music.
Bring in the horns.
Yeah. So I like that selection from her.
Yeah. We were having some difficulty when we chatted briefly off camera about which Love Unlimited song we were gonna pick. And I just like went through their Discog, looking at names of songs, and
I just said dealer's choice because my mom was like, I have
all of it, huh?
I don't have a particular Love Unlimited song. I just love Unlimited. She said, give me Barry and the Boys.
So I ended up on because being like Kendrick paled as of lately, I picked If This World Were Mine, which is not the sample they used for Luther, but just like the name of the song made me think about GNX and how much like it was so cool to hear like an authentic love song in today's era that can be kind of bitter and jaded toward the concept of just like devotion to another person. And like listening to this,
you know what I love about Love Unlimited? It's the fact that it's an orchestra, right? But it's still within the confines of the genre. And then most of the time it's no lyrics or anything like that. So you actually have to feel the R&B. It's not, today's R&B is a lot of like straightforward, nasty lyrics, and so you hurt me, so now like I'm
gonna hurt you.
Exactly. Who hurt you type shit. It's just toxic. With that R&B of yesteryear, it was real, yearning, like real. It was either
real yearners.
It was either real yearning or real you broke my heart, and I never want to deal with anyone like you, but I want to love somebody else again, type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that with the orchestra, you have no lyrics. Now it's just feeling. So now it's like it's definitely R&B, but you have to feel that. And if you can't feel what the genre is being conveyed here, then that's a real what's the word I'm looking for? Trial as to how you connect with music for real.
I want to do a quick shout out to the members, Diane Taylor, Linda James, and I just learned Glodine James, because I'm listening to this song and I'm like, man, this woman's really in love. I wonder what makes a person love a person that much. And I'm like, oh, she was married to Barry White, like the most in love man of R&B, arguably of all time.
The big love bear.
That man. Like, because I don't know much about Barry White, but what I do know is that man loved his wife. And so I hear the lyrics to like If Those Were Mine, and I'm like, man, call me what you will. I don't trust men. And so like I'm thinking like, dang, back in those days, it's like you really had to roll the dice, I'm sure. But like, standards in society was different. And so I'm thinking it's harder these days for me to like, man, like loving a person in such an authentic and wholesome way. But then I'm like, oh, but you're married to Barry White? That makes sense then. Like that actually makes sense why like that
and
love.
Barry was a real yearner, boy. Woo! Barry White was a legendary yearner.
Sir, they made a Barry White joke on Arthur, sir. And even that was just so horny. I'm like, who approved this shit?
Barry White was essentially a bear on the Angry Beavers, bro. Like, Barry White is a cultural icon, and the icon is yearning.
The standard is here. As far
Exactly.
As get your loving up, brother.
Very few yearners like Barry White. There's like him, probably like Teddy Pendergrass, and then
who do we have left? Smokey, I guess.
Jodeci.
Bit of a hidden recipe, depending on the household you're in.
Yeah.
I'll say Smokey.
Yep, Smokey. Well, I don't know, man.
He's giving them gas.
Oh, he's still with us, all right.
Hey, bro.
That's why I was hesitant about naming Smokey, because I'm like, I don't know, Smokey. You kind of fell into the rabbit hole these kids are in as well. Like you doing that stuff now. You're not even talking like you used to talk anymore. You talking like a nasty old man, Smokey. Ew. Yeah. I fit in there? Hey, no. Hey, man.
I forgot about that fucking song.
You are 80 years old, Smokey. You should not be talking about anything fitting in anything unless you are talking about putting a cylinder through a hole like a kindergartner, and not in such a lewd fashion, I guess. Your old ass should be singing about that. That's what I'm saying. Retirement home ass sex music. I love Smokey.
I'm done. I'm cooked.
I love Smokey.
Actually, though, so this is Mariah Carey record, right? It's on this. The Emancipation of Mimi was my first Mariah Carey record, because that's the John with like It's Like That, y'all. I didn't really know who Shorty was for real until middle school. And, when we were younger in Moco, I'm sure you heard all the chatter from like your parents' friends and shit about, oh, there should be. Yes.
You never watched Rush Hour up to that point?
No, broski.
Damn.
I wasn't allowed, bro.
Damn.
I lived in a very secluded.
On one side of the fence, I understand that, but also I understand your parents not allowing you to watch that movie. I get that, because that is a wild movie. It is. It really didn't age too well to everybody else, but if you're a person that enjoyed that type of comedy, it aged fairly.
It's a cultural touchstone for what it's worth.
Exactly.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the lady who played like the kid in the movie still very much like has like strong, like just like feels very strongly for that film, remaking the meme in her car. And I'm like, hey, that's fire.
Because she stole the show in the first like 5-10 minutes of the movie.
On timing.
That's fire. You know what I'm saying?
You can do shit like that back in the day. No, but so my parents is like, oh, because like in the suburbs, we have like CCM, contemporary Christian music, and there are a few black acts in that like programming, but not specifically like gospel radio. And I feel like once they finally gave like the Moco area a gospel radio station, they could have easily slotted this song into that programming. They missed a huge opportunity to like minister to the secular crowd in that way. But that's what really annoys me about like the black church. They're very kind of like very snooty about because remember when Michael Jackson passed, who's the first person they call? Is Mariah Carey. And I was very confused seeing her there, because I didn't perceive Mariah Carey as a Christian person. And that's what I feel like there's so much we have to kind of like rebuild like the because even then it's like, oh, like where's the communication, where's the correlation, like there's just so much like separation and like, oh, we don't go down that path. We don't speak to those people, even though they're our people.
Right.
And I'm like, and like, it was just like, cause, and I always see like, sometimes gospel songs, they need some drums. And if you've gone to enough black churches, you know, like the band, if they start cooking, them hubba dubba start playing, like the feet start getting beat. You better tell them, Los. You better tell them.
So that uncle that I referenced earlier in this episode that had have passed recently.
Yes, indeed.
Best drummer in the family, and it started in the church. Right, so good that he like for some years had a gig touring with James Brown as his drummer.
Fire.
And so that's how my dad knows James Brown, or knew James Brown. One of the ways, that and the Go-Go Band that would later come. But that skill was passed on to my older cousin, Tim.
Shout out Tim.
Who is now the best drummer in the family. However, his son, also named Tim, we call him Tick, because he's albino. But he might be shaping out to get to become a drummer. Then my baby cousin RJ, he's starting to get into it. So drumming starting to become like a family, the family instrument. I was a drummer in middle school for a year.
Cool. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, I took band 6th grade and I was drummer, but I wasn't 100% a fan of, playing an instrument. I wanted to be the instrument. So I switched to chorus class instead.
I should have been with you on that. I should have been with you at that point, because I didn't find my bug with like chorus until like 10th grade. But yeah, just like it's like, yeah. Like
I'm Gary too.
Come on now, listen. The mixtape is coming. The mixtape is coming. Don't you rest assured. Who cares if Drake is putting out a tape? The Los tape? Oh man, don't play with us. Moco is up. We back. We feel restore the feeling.
I'm about to be crooning like Frank Ocean. I'm telling you.
Come on, bro. We're gonna get that Hendrix verse. It's a wrap. No way.
No games. Nah, but hey,
that's funny.
Hot take: "Fly Like a Bird," a secular song. I never thought of that.
But I imagine it's like, again, before today, never heard this fucking song. And one of my youngins at my job is a huge Mariah Carey stan. I jokingly call him the king of R&B, because all he wants to talk about is Brandy, Whitney, and Mariah. Like the big three in his mind are those artists. And I'm like, as a Zoomer, that is so commendable. Because when we met,
those are three. Those are probably three of the best voices in R&B ever. Oh, like pound for pound. Because like I say that, and Minnie Riperton immediately popped up in my mind. But I'm thinking like pound for pound.
Not as well known.
Like the best, strongest, like most like unique voices. Though it belongs to those three. And the only reason why my Mariah like overpasses Minnie is because Mariah actually has a voice register that is, like her normal voice register is more powerful than Minnie's would. She just have the additional whistle register as well. So, and then Whitney is that's the voice of Christina.
She is. I hope that the afterlife is being kind to her, because we miss her dearly.
Her and Bobby Christina have peace
together. Yes, indeed. I mentioned my youngin from work because, like, we had a conversation about how earlier we were talking about Love Unlimited and how they were like a trio in the R&B world. In today's culture, we don't have an American like R&B black trio of women. We don't really have like a group, but we do have Flo from the UK, and like they're basically giving what needs to be gave, but like they're still not like a known act like a Destiny's Child. We can make that a reality if that's what we really want to do going forward. We have a lot of great like soloists in the R&B realm. We don't have a group. We can make them our current group of this culture of right now during this decade if we wanted to just like have some fucking unification. I know how us Westerners treat like black folk from the UK like the distant like disregarded cousin. We don't have to do that with Flo. I'm just freaking saying. I just want to make sure I brought up that little tidbit for me. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's always talking about like the SWVs, the other groups that like people like love so much. But what about right the fuck now? You know what I'm saying? Like we have an opportunity. And like, who's to say you can't start a group today? Right now. Like we had something going with Chloe and Haley, but like Chloe and Halle, but like now they're doing their own thing. Like let's lock in, focus. All I'm trying to freaking say, dog. But I am glad I may have like in the same way how I may oh, did I lose you? Hello? Oh shoot. I'm wait. Los. Okay, good. He saw me. Close. Bear with us, folks. No, sir. Usually he has like the AirPods, so this typically isn't a thing that happens to us. No, sir. We're almost to the end, folks. Thank you so much for bearing with us. No, sir. Come on. No, sir. Oh. I wonder if I can do the thing I was supposed to do that one time and just call him on my phone. Yes, sir. I'm waiting on you. I promise. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. Good. Man, we need ASL. We need American Sign Language back in the schools, guys, because we really had to just like pantomime that shit out. We have one more song left. It's our Yolanda Adams contribution. Big shout out, Mrs. Crawford. Big shout out, PRT. They want to put your full government out there. I love you so much. It's your birthday. Shout out to the Black Atlantic Cool Trio. I will hopefully be back later this month with another episode of like I guess pruning the Apple Music Top 100 list with my good friend from 2 a.m. Wake Up Call. As long as we lock in a date, there's stuff happening. Let me make sure I'm looking at my phone to make sure. Okay, I think I got a text from Haystack West. No, it is not from Haystack West. Oh, dear God. What am I going to do? I can only stall them for so long. There he is. Oh, praise God. Speak, good sir. No! Damn it! All right. I'm going to... Did he leave me a note in the private chat? No, he did not. Okay. I'm going to do a thing. I don't know if it's going... Okay. I'm waiting. I got you. I am waiting with bated breath, good people. You know, in the past, I had mailed good old Los a microphone similar to my own. I'm definitely gonna... Me thinking about that and send him another one. Or maybe we should just record the show like live and in person in the DMV. By Jove. Let me see this man a text. Do you want to call it here? Let's see what he says. Yes, sir. I'm with you. He's got something. He stuck around for me. I got to stick around for the dog. All right, I'm gonna send him one more. Oh shit! I got you.
There it is.
Holy moly!
All right, so
yo, real quick, we should get to this last record real fast in case anything tries to like bum rush us off the stage.
Let's just go ahead and steam through this because my brother just called me. I don't even know why, because it's only 2:00 in the afternoon. He's usually not done with work till like 3. So,
oh, that's right. You have plans later today. So yeah, I apologize if this got in the way of that.
No, everything compiled after we scheduled this. So.
I see. Okay. Like I said, the Crawford family are bag chasers, so I dig it.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So the last one was.
I'm Gonna Be Ready by Yolanda Adams.
Yes.
Generational talent. I have a long history with this artist. Tell us more about you and your mother's relationship to her.
Well, my mom just enjoys gospel, much like your older people of that generation. So Yolanda Adams is one of her favorite gospel artists. So I thought that she was going to pull there's another Yolanda Adams song that I just immediately blinked out on. I thought she was going to pull out another Yolanda Adams song that she's listened to often, but this is another one that she does listen to quite often, and it's like one of those songs that like I feel like that makes her think of my grandmother. So,
aww,
yeah. So, good song. And I'm not really big on gospel, you know that.
2001 kind of sound. This was the year we first got into Mary Mary and things of that nature. Personally speaking, like I think my personal favorite of hers is her 2005 release, Day by Day, because like this is kind of like what catapulted her into like the, I guess like even she was already a huge star in this realm. It really just like shot her to like the top. And like I mentioned how like there was like a gospel station in Moco for a long time. I do believe even to this day she's a syndicated radio show on that channel. I can't think of like the call sign, but like it was like hearing her voice every Sunday. It was cool. He was like, oh, like I've heard your voice all my life, and now I get to hear you like put other artists over. That kind of made you into like the megastar that you are, and things of that nature. Yeah. I think that's our show.
Yeah, we covered everything we wanted to cover today.
We went in as we usually do. I was telling the audience like I have got to like I remember I sent you a mic. Maybe I should send you a different one.
I don't know.
You're still flying off the iPod on your phone, right?
Yeah, I use an iPod, my iPhone or whatever. But like, I also have a mic that, yeah, I think that You did give me that mic.
We gotta get you a freaking like laptop. That's what we did. That's what we never like freaking discussed. That's what we were supposed to like. That's what we were supposed to like. Because I know that you used to live next to a micro center.
Around the corner from there, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta slide over there one time. Next time I come to Moco, just like plan and scheme. Maybe we'll go halfway on one or something. I don't know.
Scheme,
because next time I'm in town, my brother is your neighbor, technically speaking. When he gave me his address, I'm like, oh, you live next to good old Lowe's. He's like, who? And I'm like, we need the whole court. And I know he speaks the gospel of Reverend Green. So like, I think, and like his gang is like very adjacent to the Graps. So I think we can have a good chat, the three of us, just in general. So look forward to that.
Yeah, we're gonna get along just fine.
Oh, most certainly so. Oh, yes, sir. This has been Haystack Hates His Mother. Haystack Hates Your Music. We'll be back definitely in March. Do you think we should get Pops next episode?
I don't see why not.
All right, bet. We'll talk shop about that like another time. As always, calls to action. You know, I love this part of the show. Drink more water. You know what I'm saying? Like Mother Earth is she's making her demands. You know what I'm saying? You want to put a little flavor in that, John? Do it, please. If drinking clean water is a privilege in today's world, and you leave your home to conduct your business, wear a freaking mask. Like, as you saw, LA was on fire. You're not supposed to be breathing that shit in through your lungs, bruv.
Yeah.
And even not. Like, bird flu is out here taking the lives of the livestock. You don't want that shit. You don't want big COVID. You don't want a flu.
All of the illnesses of yesteryear are starting to come back. Thank you.
Tuberculosis, my nigga? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Over your nose, under the mouth. Thank you. Next part, crucial one. When you leave this place, when you leave the stream, you know, you're gonna like, you know, brush your teeth, wash your hands, use the restroom. You're gonna look at yourself in the mirror. And when you see yourself in the mirror, I need you to do one thing. Look yourself dead in the eye and say, I love you to yourself. It is not easy to do. Valentine's Day is 2 days away. Like, it's a struggle, but it's important. As we can see, these mugs in DC are running off hate. Hate will burn you out. It is not good for your body. It is not good for your mind. Love is going to keep you here. Smokey Norfolk is like, oh, like, no, I'm sorry, not Norfolk, because respect to that man. That man, Smokey Robinson, is still here on this earth. He has pursued love all his time. Maybe a different kind of love, honestly, but like, he's still with us.
Years, but you know,
Stevie Wonder has pursued love all his life, and he's still with us today and like, it's important. It's so hard. It's fucking terrifying, but it's worthwhile, especially in yourself. If you cannot say I love you to yourself, please know that me, Chris Kennard, and good old Los, we love you in the most like platonic and supportive way possible. Thank you for spending your time with us. We had about like 5 people in the stream this time. Usually we get about like 2. And a big shout out to our dog, LA, all the way from freaking Nigeria, locking it in. Hey dog, we pulling up on you. When that movie like comes out in Nollywood, we will be first in line, guaranteed. Come home safely if you want to do that. I would not recommend it. And if you want to change the world, you can go to rescue.org to figure out how you can lend a hand to other impacted nations by humanitarian crisis, specifically Yemen, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Niger, Ethiopia, Somalia, Mali, Myanmar, Burkina Faso, Darfur, South Sudan, Hawaii, Ghana, Bangladesh, Lebanon, Cuba, Nigeria, North Kurdistan, and Palestine. Shout out to that one cat who stuck onto the field during the performance, who had that double flag of Sudan and Gaza. We see you, my dog. I'm happy you went home free. I'm happy you went home with no charges. Sincerely so. We are all, bro. I had a friend on the phone I haven't spoken to in a while, and he's like, hey, any chance one of y'all wants to get my dog from Eastern Europe a green card? I'm like, why? What's wrong? And like, Russia is pressing up against like his country. And I'm like, damn, bro, I'm gonna keep just like the almighty foot of just like imperialism is like beating its drum, but like we are going to outlive all those motherfuckers, and we're gonna do it together. So again, like it's been fun, it's been a blast. Good Olos, say goodbye to the people.
Hey man, y'all be easy.
Happy Valentine's Day. It's Black History Month. Reparations today. The ash ag for both of us is in the description if you want to like bless us with a few dollars. You know what I'm saying? This mug gotta go drive folk to and fro. This mug, he be working hard every day. I be walking to work doing my thing. So like, I don't know, maybe if you want to make us do this full time or something, it'd be a real blessing. You know what I'm saying? So if not us, give a Black person your money. Give a Black gay person your money. Give a Black trans person your money. Give a Black woman your money. Give it up. I know you got a few dollars. Don't go to Chipotle. Give it to give it to Megan. You know what I'm saying? Give it a Glow. Give it to Tia Corinne. I don't know. Like something, bro. Like read a book, motherfucker. Be the next Kendrick. Read some poetry. Write some poetry. It's been a blast. For real now, Los. Tell us goodbye. Tell the people goodbye.
Yeah, take care.
We'll see you next time. It's always been a pleasure. Shout out Missy. We love you, mama.
Love you, Mom.